Hey guys, Dread here. So you can probably hear that I'm outside today. Not in the car, no driving with Dread, and not in the office, not in the house. We're actually in the garden. We're on the hammock. You're getting a little glimpse of me in my most relaxed state with the sun shining. And the rain stopped for a while in the UK, so that's pretty nice. We're actually getting summer weather in the summer. And yeah, I'm on the hammock, so if I nod off in the middle of this, I apologise. It's just too damn good, this hammock. The best thing I've ever bought in my entire life. I'm not even joking either. It's actually super damn relaxing. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the markets. We're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on recently with Bitcoin and some other stuff. Certain projects specifically, but let's talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's obviously had a very interesting time over the last couple of months, week and a half, I'd say 2 weeks. Clearly we had a 50% correction from the top, 60 grand down to about 30, but over the last week and a half we've seen 9 to 10 green candles, which is quite rare in Bitcoin's history. It's a strong bounce, but I think we should keep in mind that it's a bounce, and we could still see some form of a breakdown from here. Obviously 9 to 10 green candles in a row, we're going to see a retracement of some kind. And we are starting to see that today. We got up to around 42. We're about 38 at the moment, and price is sitting just above the 100 and 200 EMA, which is great. We broke the 50 EMA, we broke the 100, we broke the 200. Now we're seeing a bit of support around that area, which is just what we want. But I put a tweet up recently talking about Bitcoin in the past having this similar scenario play out to what's playing out now, and we had 3 big red candles on the monthly in a row, and we obviously had a nice bounce because you need to see some relief somewhere, and we finished the next month, the 4th month, green, and a nice big green candle to go with that on all 3 examples. But this was only a bounce, and we then saw a prolonged downtrend continue. So this has happened 3 times in Bitcoin's history after 3 big red candles, and we're seeing the same thing happen now. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm bearish. This doesn't mean that I think that the same thing's going to happen, but it's worth keeping your mind open to the fact that it could, and we haven't really broke the downtrend from the top of this local pump. So we had the top around 60,000, I think it was, and we can draw a trend line all the way down from the lower lows, and we can see a trend line, a clear trend line, and Bitcoin hasn't broke it yet. And I think Bitcoin would have to be around 44,000, 43,000 to break that trend line. So until that's broke, I don't see this downtrend as over, technically. And I think it's important to keep in mind that just because we've seen some green doesn't mean we're out the neck of the woods. But we're seeing a relief on Bitcoin, and we're seeing a relief in the altcoin market. A lot of projects bouncing, a lot of projects not just bouncing, but pumping pretty damn hard. Quant has been on an insane pump recently. I mean, well clear of 100% from its low. Its local low, I should say, around 55. There were people selling not that long ago at $55 a quant. That is pain. That is pure pain if you've ever seen it. And now we're at around 145. I don't have the charts in front of me. I only have my phone, which I'm recording on right now. So I can't actually see the prices of stuff. But Quant was around 145, 148 when I last looked. We went all the way up to 190, which was great. Big move. We had the Binance listing recently, which was great. A lot of people have been asking that for a long time. When Binance? When Binance? Well, you got it. There's your Binance. And that's the top to go on top of the Coinbase listing, the Crypto.com listing, a bunch of other listings. And I think this is a part of another subject, but another topic. But I think Binance, you're going to see Binance pivot a little bit now. I think, regulation is catching up with them. They've been very loose the last couple of years, and regulation is now catching up. And I think what we're going to see is Binance look to list every compliant regulated project under the sun. I think a lot of these projects, and I think that's the big part of why they listed Quant. And I've had no information come my way to suggest that was a paid listing. I think it was free. If I hear any different, I'll let you guys know. But as far as I'm aware, and I think you're going to see this from Binance a lot more. I think you're going to see compliant projects like Alliance Block, Unizen. I think they're all going to find their way to Binance, because Binance need to now do things correctly. And I think they want to be in the good books of the regulators. And I think the shitcoin listings are going to go to the wayside now. And I think you're going to see good quality, fundamentally strong projects find their way to Binance. That's just my opinion. But I think that's part of the reason why we've seen Quant. And maybe it was just an increase in attention around the project, and they finally decided to take the listing. But the Binance listing definitely helped. And then we saw the Digital Pound Foundation stuff with Ripple and Quant and Electronium, and working with Barclays on a Digital Pound Foundation. That whole thing, we've talked about that in the past. But yeah, a lot of stuff. And I think what's happening with Quant at the moment is clearly over the past few years, and I've been a part of this. A lot of the guys in the Quant community, Quant Free Lounge, etc., have been strong vocal points for the scale of this project. And we've been pushing the narrative and educating everyone on what we're seeing. And now what I think is happening is the project is now beginning to match the hype. We're starting to see the project unveiling their cards, and you're starting to see now match the sort of lofty ambitions that we had for the project. You're starting to see Digital Pound Foundation stuff come out, all the stuff with the Bank of England, and it's all there. It's all been there for years, but now I think they're slowly peeling back the curtain. And everyone else is starting to realize, oh shit, these guys were right. They were correct. And I think now it's just a perfect blend of the hype is getting realized, and we're seeing price appreciation to kind of match it. And I think this is just a start. I think $100, $200 is just a start, in my opinion. I've said for a long time, years and years, when Quant was well below a couple of dollars, that this is a 4-digit project at least. And I think even then it's cheap. I think when we're talking about a project being the digital bridges, the bridge between regions and countries and governments, of course.
So.
Oh, I've got a little Bongo treat. What are you doing? What are you creeping up on me? I'm working. I'm doing a recording.
Why?
What? Because I have to. I have to do this stuff for my people. Get out of it. Go on.
Did they realise that you're in a hammock in the garden?
I've told them that, yeah. I have told them that. Get out of here. God, see, no attention. I get no time for myself. So yeah, that's how I see Quant going. That's how I see Quant has just been on an amazing run recently. And I think then we saw Unizen kind of pop up from the low ones, and we saw around about $2.50. It was a great move from Unizen. And we had Martin come out recently and talk a bit about DMAS, the dynamic multi-asset staking, saying that it's coming soon. The aim is the end of the month. They're adding some stuff at the moment. But yeah, things look good for staking. End of the month, DMAS. I think a lot of ZCX is going to be locked up in staking. I know I'm going to be locking up as much as possible, because when we're talking about, I did a thread recently on tokenomics, so if you want to go read it, I'll put it in the description below. But when we talk about an ecosystem of rewards. And when we're talking about dynamic multi-asset staking and receiving multiple rewards just by staking, that's great. But then when we talk about just from staking, we can get allocations to projects from ZenX, the ZenX incubator, the world's first CDeFi incubator and accelerator. And we can receive allocations, and those allocations can then go 25, 50, 100x on their own, just by staking our ZTX. That's amazing. And then to put on top of that DICER, the dynamic yield saving accounts, and getting yield on your savings for to compete with high projects, with the top projects at the moment like BlockFi, Celsius. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. And go and read the tokenomics thread, because I know a lot of people had the impression that, okay, a lot of the supply is not in circulation. So we have about 34 million tokens in circulation. That might be wrong, but there's about 1 billion overall. And a lot of people thinking, well, once that supply hits the market, obviously it's going to dilute tokens, token price. But the tokenomics thread, go read it, because that's not the case at all. A lot of those tokens won't see circulation, and there's a reason why those tokens exist. And just from the insurance fund alone, that's 300 million tokens that will never ever see the market. But go read the thread. I won't do it justice sitting here talking about it. But yeah, that was something that I think the community needed, really. So I'm glad I put that together for everyone. Something quickly I wanted to talk about. Nate Phillips, a guy on YouTube called Nate Phillips, on Twitter as well, created a video around Quant. And oh my God, it's the best video I've seen on Quant to date. Like, hands down, game over. Just, 100% the best video that's ever been created around Quant. I've already sent it to people who don't know a lot about crypto and told them, here's your information about Quant if you want to look into it. And even those guys who know nothing about crypto were like, this is really helpful. This is amazing. And as someone who tries to educate and create content, watching his video was amazing, because not only did he explain things in a really easy to understand way, but he matched it up visually. The flow was perfect, and he covered everything. He covered the entire project from start to finish. And there's been videos in the past, like I would point everyone to the Gilbert Verdian blockchain seminar 24/7, I think it was called, video, where he's on a big ass stage and he's talking and he looks all professional. But that video is a little bit outdated. Not really, the core's still there, but there's so much has accelerated since then in terms of the project and the vision. And Nate just took all that information and summed it up in the best way possible. So as much kudos as I could give you, Nate. Like, if you're listening to this, it's by far the best Quant video out there, and you deserve so much praise. And if you haven't watched it yet, guys, go and watch it. I will link that below as well. It's called Quant, the Great Catalyst, I think it's called. That's what the thumbnail says, I remember. But definitely go and watch that video if you don't know about Quant, or even if you do know about Quant, because you'll learn something. I even learned stuff from it, and I've been looking into Quant for years and years. Even I learned stuff from the video, so a massive amount of respects there. So let's talk about Luna as well. So Luna at the moment is moving very, very hard. It's woken up, and last year we had a move, which this move could kind of turn into, right? We had a move from, it must have been under $1 or around $1 before I got into Luna. I want to preface that because a lot of people seem to think I'm a really early investor on Luna. I'm not, I don't pretend to be. There's people who got in a lot earlier than me. But I heard about it around $2, and I managed to make an entry around that price. So I'm not one of the early investors, but I got a good entry. But I managed to position myself before that pump really took off, just due to information I got from a friend who put me onto Luna and to Terra as an ecosystem, really. But yeah, that move from around about $1 all the way up to $22, I think it was crazy. It was a crazy move. And I think we're setting up for something similar. Luna is kind of decoupling at the moment from Ethereum and Bitcoin. And the last I saw, we was about $13.70, I believe. So that could change by the time this video goes up. But it's been on a great run, well over 100% rise at the moment. And all of these projects have really done well. We've had a Quant move, we've had a Unizen move, we've had a Luna move. Alliance blockers moved pretty hard recently. So, our projects that we champion are doing well. And I think maybe that's part of a larger narrative of a fundamental season. Fundamentally strong projects are seeing are getting their attention now. And people maybe are starting to realize. But yeah, Luna, we've got Columbus 5 coming, strong narrative. And yeah, you can't forget the huge burns that are coming this year. I think sometimes you can get bogged down. There's so much information with Terra and the ecosystem. And I listened to the Do podcast he did with ARK Invest guys. Fascinating. It's amazing podcast. Go listen to it, guys. Very, very in depth, very technical. But Do does a great job of trying to explain that. But I think with the Terra stuff, you could really get into the weeds with Terra and the whole ecosystem and try and figure it out. There's a lot there. But the very simple narrative is that the project, the Terra ecosystem, Luna, will see huge burns by the end of this year, just through the demand from UST. And I know I've mentioned that before, but it is a simple narrative because the demand is there for UST and it's only going to grow. And Columbus 5 improves on that. So we're going to see large Luna burns by the end of the year. So the price is going to look very different, and the price can outpace the market cap, which is exciting. But I will admit, with the Terra ecosystem, I've lost track of it a bit, and I need to sit down and really get back into it. You take your eyes off it for a week, and you're out of touch with it all because so much is happening so quickly, and it's an amazing project. But like I said, Alliance Block also saw a pump recently up to about 68-70 cents, I think, down from where it was about 20 cents. So very big move for Alliance Block. And Ultra also had a move before all of these moves. So Ultra had already kind of done its thing. Ultra's kind of decoupling from the market, which is impressive. I always like projects that decouple because then they're not reliant on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And obviously they get caught up when you see the huge dumps and the huge pumps. But projects that do their thing regardless, because adoption, they're the projects I like. And Ultra has kind of just been doing its thing, just chilling and moving up when it wants to. And people are catching on to the fact that this is a really large project. I mean, I think people will easily see this as, it's just a gaming project. It's just gaming, maybe just some NFT stuff, whatever. But Ultra, they are the closest competitors to Steam, in my opinion. If there was ever a project that was going to, topple Steam. And Steam are huge. Go look at Steam and Valve, massive company. Steam, the go-to marketplace for PC gaming. But if there was ever a project that was going to topple it, it would be Ultra. It would be Ultra. I said this in a recent tweet. But if you ever had a project that needed to topple Steam, they would need the backing of a huge company like AMD. And AMD create hardware and software. You're likely, your PlayStation has AMD hardware in it. Your Xbox has AMD hardware. Your computer probably has AMD hardware. AMD are giants of the gaming industry, just giants of hardware in just in general. So to have the full backing of AMD is huge. And I've not that I want to act like I have information or whatever, but that relationship is deep. It's a deep relationship. It's not just, we're partners. It's a very deep relationship, and AMD will take Ultra to the market in a huge global way. So Ultra is making great moves, but I expect huge things from Ultra, huge. And I recently had access to their wallet, some of their testing stuff, testing it with the wallet, and the platform just feels nice. It just looks nice. I love the feel. I love the flow, the colors, the whole setup they've got going on there. It's really nice, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. And I'm going to be doing so much around the Ultra platform when it's live, just because I want to, you know, not because of any other reason. It just I want to get back into games. I want to get back into streaming, everything. And Ultra is going to be my go-to place. And I secured my username, Bongo. So if you ever want to add me, there we go. I did a. Let's talk a little bit about the thread I did recently. It's kind of like a life thread, I guess. Wasn't really sure why I put it up. Talking about various aspects of life, and you know how it doesn't matter where you come from and your background, and sometimes in life you just need a bit of help, and you need a bit of luck, and you need a bit of change of direction, and it's all about getting on the right path. So I'll put that thread in the description as well, but I wanted to talk up a little bit about it because I always see people always will say stuff like, how much quant do I need, right? Or how much Luna to make it, whatever. And I always think, as much as it takes to change your life, like, there's no arbitrary number, there's no set number. It's what situation are you in? If you can accumulate this much, will it make a difference to your life? And it's an individual basis. If it makes a difference to your life, that's the number. Don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to your situation. So if in 5 years, 5 years time, you can get to this point, and you can look back and compare yourself to the situation you're in now, and you're improved, you succeeded. It's as simple as that. And it's part of a bigger narrative that I like to do. I don't really just like to talk about crypto, but that doesn't mean that I like to talk about politics and all that shit. You can go to the news for that crap, but I like to change people's perspective on not just investing, but kind of life, because I've been on that journey where I've felt like I've had to change my whole thinking, my whole lifestyle, my whole kind of perspective on things. And I like to see whether I can help people improve theirs. So that's a big reason why I did that thread. I wanted people to understand my journey, and to understand it's not easy. And you can see all of these, if you want to call them influencers. I don't see myself as an influencer, but people call me that. And they think, oh, how did they do it? I can never do what they do, and it looks so easy for them. I guarantee you, every single one of those people have a journey to tell, have a story to tell, and it was never easy. And I want you guys to know that, like, no one's journey is easy. It's just a matter of perspective and will, and I talked a little bit about health. Health's important. You need to make sure that you take care of yourself, and you can't run yourself out, you can't run yourself down. If you do, then you'll just fail. Essentially, you'll fail. You need to make sure you take breaks, you need to breathe. And I mentioned a little bit about the panic attacks, and they're getting better. I don't want to sit here and say like it's something I have to deal with on a daily basis. It's not, but there was a period where I was having panic attacks, and it's horrible. I wouldn't wish them on anyone. They're really tough. I remember the first time I had one. I was in bed with my wife, and I just started. I started panicking. I was, things just started getting out of control, and I started panicking. And then where I was panicking, I was getting so worked up. It felt like I was having a heart attack. That's the best way I could explain it. It felt like I was having a heart attack, and I couldn't control it. and I didn't know it was a panic attack, so I felt like, oh shit, I'm having a heart attack. Oh shit, am I dying? And because I started feeling like that, and I know it sounds over exaggerating, but it's not. I felt like I was dying. I felt like I was having a heart attack. So I started panicking, feeling like I was having a heart attack. But then I started getting scared that I was having a heart attack. That I started panicking more, and then that made me more scared that I was gonna die, and then I was panicking more, and it's like this cycle of just thinking like, and then you start thinking, shit, is my daughter gonna grow up without me? And you start thinking about all this crazy shit, and it comes on so quickly, and it's horrible, man. It's horrible. But the first couple of times were really hard. But now when I have them, it's more of a realization of like understanding that it is just a panic attack, and understanding that you are just going through this and you have to just go through this, but since I made proper lifestyle changes, they've been less frequent, like a lot less. I haven't had one in a long time. But you need to take care of your health, and that's why I push that so strongly. You have to take breaks, you have to take time for yourself, for your family, for your friends. Go out for a meal, go for a walk, god damn, go to the woods, breathe in the nature. You have to reset. Your brain needs it. Your brain, we're so focused every day on information being pumped into our brains, looking at our phones, looking at our iPads. God, we need to take breaks. We need to. And that's why this hammock, I joke about it, but this hammock is so important to me, because I come out here, I lay down, I look up at the sky, and I can see some trees, I can hear the birds, I can hear the bees when they fly past, and it's important. It's important because you need that switch off. It's okay to do nothing sometimes. It's okay to be bored. It's okay to do nothing. So that's why I put that thread out. That's why I talked about it. I'll link it below in case you haven't seen it. But hopefully people took something from it, and that was the reason why I did it. I wanted people to understand my journey a little bit more, and why I'm in the position I am now. And it was through hard work, but there was elements of luck, there was elements of help. So there you go. But let's end it on the roundtable. So to the roundtable, right? So we obviously had these big plans for the roundtable. We did a great show with James, and we was looking to build on that. Things have kind of have come to a halt a little bit behind the scenes, gone a little bit stale. And hold on, my daughter's shouting in the background. So yeah, things are gonna. Baby, can you go inside a minute? Huh? I'll get it in a minute, baby. There we go. Little insight into my lifestyle. Just trying to get her bike out. I'll grab it in a minute. So the roundtable stuff, yeah. So it's come to a little bit of a halt behind the scenes. A little bit stale, I would say. But not to say that it's nothing's happening, that nothing's gonna happen. That's just the reality at the moment. I'm gonna be honest with you guys in the state of things, and we had this idea to really kick on after the James one, and we have a lot of people lined up, but it's just a matter of pinning down when we're going to interview those guys or have them on the shows, and getting the schedule done properly. But behind the scenes things have kind of slowed down quite a lot. So I guess it's a point of picking things up again. It's not to say I'm not to blame, of course I am, but picking things up again and moving forward. And the roundtable, look, if the roundtable fails and doesn't go anywhere, then it will be through lack of effort. It's as simple as that, because we have all the tools in place, we have all the people in place, but if it fails, it'll be through lack of effort. And if it succeeds, it'll be through us wanting it to succeed. It's as simple as that, really. And if it does fail, it'll be a shame, but we're all still here, we'll all still be doing our own thing. So I want it to be a hobby more than anything, which is part of the reason why it's kind of come a little bit to a halt, because you can't force anyone to do anything, and you've got to let people just want to do it. But yeah, that's kind of the state of that. But I am thinking of doing my own streams, my own stuff on my own channels. I'm thinking of doing some weekly live streams, maybe around crypto gaming, a lot of that stuff, maybe some live stuff. But pushing a video out a week where I just get to stream and relax and do something like this and talk with you guys like in real time, that would be exciting to me. So look out for that. Let me know if you guys want that, really. But yeah, I should probably go get my daughter's bike out. I'm being summoned. So hope you guys enjoyed this hammock talk. Not driving with dread, relaxing with dread, I guess, in the hammock. But yeah, I will speak to you guys soon. I hope you guys have a good week, have a good weekend, take care of yourselves, and I will speak to you in the next one. Bye.